Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We are all born to help each other. No matter how difficult it is, life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy because of you.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from the Political Command Center in London. Thank you very much across the continent of Africa. Thank you them very much. We're sorry we delayed, but I think you are being entertained by our previous clips. Today is Friday the 3rd, the year of our Lord 2023, when we discuss vital questions that haunt Africa. And our question today is very clear. Is it worth it to summon African heads of state after the summit in Washington, D.C., to the summit European Union in Germany? Is it worth it? Can't investors come to Addis Ababa, sit in one place and display to us what they want to invest, so that each African head of state can pick what he wants in his own country? Is it worth it to have our people, our leaders in the skies all the time, spending time in hotels, spending money in big gasoline planes, that parking fees, passage fees, and the time wasted in the space to go and listen to a small factory owner in Germany? Surely, are we diluting ourselves and reducing ourselves to a level of beggars across the world? Isn't it time for us in Africa to start thinking so hard that once again, Africa must think for its own, borrowing from within Africa, encouraging its own investors from within Africa? Only go out when it is necessary. But for us to have this borrowing, begging hands, opening hands, Saidia, it is not making us very good continent. That is the topic for today. But before we do that, let Miriam do our house cleaning. House cleaning is somebody could think we have given a lady to do the house cleaning. But no, Miriam is not just a lady, but she's the commander of the commanders on the ground in Nairobi. So Miriam, house cleaning exercise, newspapers of the continent, and starting from Kenya, where you are. Good morning, Africa. I am Dr. David Nyekorach Manzi Matanga, the son of Ipo, and the son of East Africa, born into two places. And that is why I stand for Africa all the time. Good morning. Back to you.
Right. Thank you so much. So we start with the papers from Kenya. The Star newspaper, Nairobi, Nakuru, Kiambu, top list of cancer cases. Kenyan hospitals recording 75 deaths a day, says experts. The stories on page 4 and 5. Shocker for ECD teachers as pay slashed in fresh review. That is on page 6, and 36 million people in IGAD region hit by fierce drought. You'll find that on page 11. And then we look at the Standard newspaper. The main headline, Reality of Cancer, a new survey indicates Nairobi, Nakuru, Kiambu are the top 3 counties on prevalence of the disease, with Lamu having the least number of patients. Experts warn unless funding is increased, cases will worsen. The stories on page 6 and 7. Plan to give police highest pay rise in recent times. That is on page 4. Lifting ban on rallies. A plus for Samia. You'll find that on page 22. NCBA will heed ruling on tax waiver. That is on page 20. Raila piles pressure on Ruto with more rallies. You'll find that on page 8. The Daily Nation. Uhuru security scaled down. Decision to reduce retired President Uhuru Kenyatta's bodyguards came a day after his jibe against President William Ruto, sparking muted protest from Azimio supporters and speculation that the move is politically motivated, even as government operatives cited rationalization. The story is on page 4. Teachers in the soup over viral video. That story is on page 10. And are you under a cloud of social media slander? Courts are raining money. And then jitters rock judiciary as JSC effects demotions. And Raila presses on with his protest rally. That is what you have on the front pages there. The New Times from Rwanda. Kagame, political will is key to developing Africa's infrastructure. That is the main headline. The Citizen from Tanzania, 5 things government needs to do to win over private sector. The Nation from Nigeria, Al-Rufai, Fashola, Buhari's backing for Tinubu, solid Tinubu. The Punch from Nigeria, Aso Rock, forces inciting Nigerians against APC. And the Daily News, Ngunja toils to steady prices. And Newsday, also from Zimbabwe, ZANU-PF reads a riot act. The New Vision from Uganda, entry points for this is Standard 1 raised. I guess that is Standard 1 raised. The Daily Monitor, also from Uganda, top schools relax cut-off points for S1. I don't know what that means. Is it Standard 1 or is it I don't know what that means. Perhaps Doc will help there. So that is the latest news. It is exactly 12 noon here in Nairobi, East African time. A very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Miriam. It's 9 o'clock East African Standard. It is 9 o'clock GMT time, wherever in London. The newspapers in London are the following. 1. The Daily Telegraph. Oh my God, where are they now? This computer is not doing me any justice. It's taking time to open. Computers this morning have become a problem. Yeah. The Daily Telegraph says lockdown damage workforce is permanent. The lockdown that we had in the COVID has actually damaged the workforce, and most people want to work from home. Therefore, if you are working from home, you just have a problem that will see so many things change. Transport going down, commercial activities, workers buy sandwiches and so many other things. They no longer buy them. Miriam, people are in the house, they cook their food, they look for the flask, the tea in the flask. We are working at home now. You have to put some tea in the flask. You don't need to go to the shop to buy those cups. When you stand in the Victoria Station in London, everybody comes out with a cup tea. They throw there in the bin. Luckily enough, they don't throw like in Africa. They only throw on the streets. Here they throw in and organize the team. Yes, that's the Daily Telegraph says that has affected the workforce. Calls for tough windfall tax after Shell post obscene records profit. Shell BP has posted one of the huge profits margin. And as a result, there is a call for windfall tax, which should be introduced on companies like that instead of going for individuals. Africa should also look for companies that are doing business and tax them with windfall tax, because you are getting money from our own energy, even if it's your company. But who is buying the things? Is the Kenyan, is the Ugandan, is the African, the Tunisian, is an Egyptian. So there you are. African refugees told to quit London. Voila. You see, that's what I told you yesterday. I said, for us in Africa, we have welcomed these guys, and they were brought by Americans. Well, we don't know how many they are now. But in London, they are being told, Apana, you have to quit and go to some places. We are not interested, because all of you, we don't know who is really a terrorist and who is not a terrorist. All of them have trained in some format. And if you go to London, every street, you find those small shops, that of repairing phones. Afghanistans are the best repairers of technical equipment. Your laptop, they have taken over shops. Your laptop is not working. Bring here. So that people could also they have got a lot of knowledge on so many things. That is one of the stories that is running on The Guardian. The Independent said, Gina Mira, I was bullied and demeaned by Dominic Raab. Dominic, these things do happen in offices. So what can you do, Miriam? They do happen. African Union, the whole of it, had this danger of having sex for job. But here now, you see in Britain, this man the Deputy Prime Minister is going to be forced to resign, because one woman first on the record accusation of abuse against the Deputy Prime Minister by top Remain campaigner. Yes, very beautiful colored lady, Gina Mira, half caste. You can't blame. At times some things are just natural. I'm sorry. They do come naturally. When people work together, Miriam, for a long time, if you are not resistant, if you are an employer, you are not resistant, even if you're a man or a woman, there are tendencies of about 90% marriages coming from workplace. Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Miriam, am I wrong? People tend to marry their colleagues. You work with your colleague, you go for shooting of a documentary, you are on a flight, you are where you are in Addis Ababa. Wait. I know now you are beginning. It's Friday, let's cool it down slowly. It does happen. I'm not saying it will happen, and it has never happened for us in our office. We have been all together for a long time, but it's happening. It's happening. News people are marrying each other. You can say Mador, Mr. Mador, is it Mador? That guy from CNN. He's always kissing Kimani, that woman who used to be in a KTN. You can see the marriage between your country, between Betty Chalo and Ose. Is it Osengiri? Yes. You can see what other marriage. There are several marriages of the media marrying each other. The only marriage that I've seen standing is this couple that wears the same suit, the same dress, the same make. It is common knowledge that at workplaces where you find somebody who fits compatibility, that kaka thing called C, compatible. Yes, mtu mwenye unaona desturi zake apata mbaya, mnaenda kwa dining anakula chak 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 chak. You are that. You can't have a woman who is eating chop, 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 and then you say you marry her in the house. How long will you stay with her? Anyway, it's Friday, keep up, pull up, Miriam, let's wake up. 90% of the marriages also compared to outside marriage are from working places and the people you know closely. You met on a plane, closely talked professionally, loyal. Oh, you are a lawyer? Okay, I think I'm also a lawyer. I think we can reason. But a house of lawyers can become a mad house. You can reason until even a simple thing that you want, it will not be just coming on a silver platter. Paka mumalize muraruane, nyumba paka upside down in your hey! Woo! Ask people, what happens to a house where lawyers are? So, what's your experience, Mr. Wanga?
I think what you're saying is absolutely true. I can't add or even remove a full stop from it. Being a teacher and having worked as a teacher for some years, it's a common thing that you'll find teachers marrying each other. I don't know about this department of the police forces, but when I get into my own area that I've worked for some years, it's very true. And it's because from morning to evening, you're spending time with the same persons. You walk out from your work very tired. So they're the only persons that, in the evening, you'll only go to your home. So it's, there are persons that you share quite a lot with. You go for conferences with them, you go for workshops with them. At least there are persons that are family to you, so you'll tend to get married to such persons. So what you're saying is it's very true.
Okay, thank you very much. The Daily Express said, the Daily Mail said the people don't simply vanish into thin air. This lady, the father and the mother crying, saying she woke up in the morning and she, all 1 week on from Nicola's baffling disappearance, and still with no trace of her. Her loving family described their torment. It's a big torment. Someone, beautiful girl like that, wakes up in the morning, goes. You don't know. She hasn't told you where she is. Her phone is not seen. Has she fallen in water? Where? In a river? In the ocean? Has she gone where? Even the ocean, the signal would show. What happened? With all the mechanisms in Britain, you can't trace the last point of the phone of this lady? Surely? Or she left the phone down and flew by plane. Has some African person or Indian person or Chinese person gone with her? Because lovely British ladies can take you for temptation. What happened? Here we are. Don't jump for joy just yet, but slump to the end next year. Why? Tuko kwa shida, Prime Minister anasema. The Prime Minister here says, wait, don't jump. Be prepared for a slump up to the end of next year. Mister, you will not be there. Tutakutoa. Elections zinakuja, tunakutoa. You are getting out. Unaanza utoke. The Mirror, Greenwood charges dropped. Why is it all black footballers that England and other groups have their charges all centered on rape, around the rape? Are we the only people who like these things so much that the rape accusations always surround black people? I am one of those people, Miriam, honestly, this is a Friday, who restrained himself from having a relationship in Britain with nationals of Britain. I kept off because I went to do a research and found they ask how many relatives will be coming in a year. So, excuse me, how many people will be visiting us in a year? You sit down and you do a budget. And we Africans, you see, these are things, ask me, look at me, talk to me. I was in a community, Uganda Community Relief Association, a vice chairman, and later on I became a chairman of the community relief. We handled these cases. You find a Ugandan has married a very beautiful Muzungu. We go for the wedding. After 3 days, after 3 months, the wedding is in tatters. So we had a counseling, a project. And I used to hear all these things. And the English lady comes to say, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I am happy to go back, but I want to have the list of guests who are going to be coming to our house. Hello. We all of us on the panel looked at each other like this. Miriam said, are we all right? It's not a joke. Because they